All right, Nick. Bottom 9. 2-0. And no, we have not started an FC Cincinnati podcast. Although it does feel like that. Yeah.
I just said screw it. I don't know what I'm doing.
I think that's fantastic. This is an all-time show. We're gonna win. We're gonna win, chat. Come on. Let's find a way. We're a bloop and a blast away.
Ball one.
Just seen ball one.
All right.
Hey, 2 seconds ahead of me. You're 2 seconds ahead of me. If we get a runner on base, I'm going to need you to pause and play. We'll pause and play.
All right. I paused it 10 seconds on the
10, 9.
Okay. Well, now you're a second
8,
ahead. We're good
7.
enough. Yep.
You might be on me. 6.
Yeah, we're
5.
close. We're right there.
Strike. That's so funny to me. I don't know why. Partly because I didn't know what. Uh-oh. Get down. Come on, boys.
Hey!
Come on. Come on.
Look at that. Let's go. Oh, I gotta at least put the right half inning up. There we go. Looks from the bottom. All right, Johnny.
Come on, Kimbrell. Just fall apart.
Yeah, please. All right.
India's the master of almost getting hit by a pitch that's like an inch and a half off the plate.
making it look like
it
was right there.
Yeah. Oh. Come on, boys.
All right.
I mean, listen, India's obviously got to be ready to hit here, but he's got to be super selective.
Don't say it. Don't put it out in the world.
He's got to be super selective, man.
Don't say it.
Yes, sir. Now he's taking no matter what. Come on. Season saving. Some are saying. Oh, Ellie Daylight. Are you ahead of me?
No, I just saw.
That's a ball. Damn, we could have used that one. It was a strike, but
come on. We deserve it.
We need some help. Some are asking him to take till he gets 3 strikes.
I don't know if that's a terrible.
No, it's a ball. Dude, boys, lock it in. Come on, chat. Come on, Patrick. Thanks for doing this every night, even on nights like the last 2. I did win $300 last night on a $50 bet on Mystique Dan, first ever horse bet of my life. Patrick Sharp with a $50 super bomb, and I'm telling you right now, if Ellie De La Cruz hits a bomb, it's the best show it's going to ever be. Bubba Thompson is in the game. He lives. Yeah. Woo!
He lives.
Hit a ball in the gap and just let Bubba run. Let's see him. He's there. Come on. Who's that guy, guys? He's got a White Sox shirt on. What the hell was that about?
Just here for ball.
Come on, Ellie. It's a good swing. It's a good pitch to swing on, too. Is his shoe untied? What the hell's on this? No. Please tell me no. I think it's just a strap that I seen from his shin guard.
Likes.
Need every like in the world right now. Kind of a good pitch, to be honest.
Yeah.
Bubba Thompson better be watching the back pick, dude. I'm telling you right now, I'll literally break all my equipment.
I don't know if I could go on. Good take. Good take.
Great take. Give me a good at bat. Stay in the zone. Come on. I'm going to say it out loud, though, okay, everybody? I know that's not what we wanted, but it's not the worst thing that ever happened. It's not the worst thing that ever happened. We didn't want that, but the chances of him hitting a double play are not high, I get, but at least he didn't do that. Who's up?
Steer.
Oh, the old pitch com not working now, magically. I'm like, I just got a stomach problem. Not like a real problem, but like this is nerve-wracking a little bit.
Good take.
You're a good hitter. Come on, put a ball in the gap. Put a ball in the gap.
Watch Bubba run, baby.
Yeah.
There you go. Turn him loose here.
Yeah, you have to. One swing ends a game.
I think so.
It's not. And I hate to say this.
Curve on a 2-0 count right in that spot, man.
And I think that's indicative of who's behind. You know, it's like you probably don't want to get beat by Ellie or Steer of all the guys.
Yeah.
He's thrown some hittable fastballs, though. 94 down the middle to Ellie, 93 down the middle to Spencer. Oh, pressure.
Run, Bubba,
He's got to get to third. Bubba's got to be at third base, right?
No,
it has to be.
He's at third. He's
Okay.
at third. He almost scored on that.
He didn't almost score. Now let's cool our jets. That's one of them. That's one of them. Come on. Come on.
That's a run. That's a run.
It's one run.
That's a run. Man, what an at bat by Steer.
Yeah, he's a big league ball player. It's so nice to have those. But that was Fraley. Sorry. He did almost get to a spot where he could catch that. That would have been devastating.
Yeah. Hi, Steve, baby.
Yeah, you got to go on contact too. You got to lift the baseball, no matter what you do here, Tyler. You got to. What are we doing? Taking him out of the game?
Oh,
Holy
wow.
smokes! All right, I gotta go grab some stuff here.
All right, what's going on, chat? How we doing? I've got you hidden. Love you. Oh, this guy's nasty. All right. All right, let me pull up the chat. You brought us luck, Nick. Well, we'll see. Still got to get one more across at least. What's up, Who's Your Daddy? What's up, Craig, Carrie, Blackmore, Fergie, Alex, Matt? Hope you guys are doing well. Hey, need a moment here. We need a moment here. Yinir Cano. I don't know if you can hear me yet, Trace.
All right, who do we got coming in?
Yinir Cano, 2.16 ERA.
Oh my gosh.
Last year had a 2.11 ERA in 72 games. This is a really good pitcher. So,
Right-handed.
yep.
And I tell you, it'd be nice to hit right now.
Martini.
Mike Ford.
No. They already used Maley, so it wouldn't matter. He could afford catch.
Well, maybe they wouldn't have had to use Melee earlier, to be fair.
That's true.
But at the same time, Steve's gonna get it done. We're all gonna believe in him. Come on, Ty. Wild pitch would be cool.
Yeah. There we go.
I thought he took second base.
Would the Reds
we can't
dare?
do that. No, we can't do that. I mean, listen, he does.
I don't think they'll throw. I don't think they'll throw.
If they throw, I don't think they wanted to take the bag for two reasons, and I'm not going to get into the reasons.
We all know what the reasons.
Yeah.
We all know what the reasons. But I don't think they would throw to second. I think they're trying to hold him on.
Come on, buddy. Like, whatever he does, I just need him to lift the baseball. I don't know. You get the two strikes. I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past them, Nick. He's going to throw to second, but Bubba Thompson's so damn fast that if Spencer Steer just slammed on the brakes when he stole to second and they threw down, I'd take my chances with Bubba scoring. That's a close take.
It's a good take.
It's a good take.
He ain't doing anything with that pitch.
No, this guy's really good. Got a lot of run on that, whatever that is. Is that a sinker or a fastball? He wants him to step off. Is that two disengagements? That's two disengagements, Nick.
Yeah.
That's two disengagements. I don't know, man. I wouldn't hate to try it. I'd do it.
I mean,
I'd just run them.
Keep you out of the
exactly. Oh! Oh! He took the bag. Come on, boys.
Forgot what this feels like, Trace.
Dude, I tell you right now, if you are a Orioles fan, you are absolutely beside yourself.
Yeah, they have 21 wins. They're fine. They're fine.
Still going on contact. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. What do we have to do to deserve this? What do we have to do to deserve this? I want to know. We need likes. I know we need likes. That's one thing we need. But, boy, we need something. What can we possibly do for you, baseball god? I'd love to see a heart rate monitor right now on CES. Oh, they're showing us some grainy footage back from the old opening. Not opening day, but the opening series. That looks like some glitchy old... I don't even know what that is. I don't know if it's from my nerves or from the fact that I just ate an extra large snow cone. But this fireball, I need it. We need to win, by the way. We got to win for that to happen. Oh, please.
Christian Encarnacion Strand has the most game-winning RBIs in baseball.
Let's make it 4 more. Let's make it 4 more. Why not? Let's make it 4 more. Ball 1. Okay, now Nick, got to be honest. We got to be smart here. I know they're not little leaguers, but I don't hate being 100% sure that this guy can. Good swing. What do I got to do? This guy's got such good run. He's got such good downward run on that. To get that ball in the air, you got to really get underneath that thing, man. Like sinker baller. What is that pitch? Do you know? You don't look it up. 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 I don't want you to. I know you can't get this. Don't ruin this. If it's we're not.
No, I'm on Statcast. It's always behind.
Don't miss this pitch.
It's a sinker.
Thank you.
All right, find out.
And Brell, you think you're worried, brother? You guys are like 20-11, 21-9, or whatever the hell you are. Yeah. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Threw him 5 straight sinkers.
Well, he threw 2 strikes. Candyman. Come on, please. This is the redemption game. That's just not.
Well, I guess we were owed one.
At least, yeah, we were owed one, but at least he knew it wasn't a strike. Like, I like the fact that he's seen it well.
Yeah.
Come on. You just got to be a big league hitter now. You got to battle, bud. I mean, I don't know. I can't believe this. Well, I can believe it. I just can't believe it. All right, guys. That's how it goes, man. We're gonna have to do a show, and we're gonna leave that as the run. We're gonna leave that as the rundown. We're gonna do our best stream of consciousness show, and yeah, I told you yesterday the depths of hell. I don't know if it could get lower, and we might have just seen it, because the worst thing you can have in life is hope, and then the hope just gets completely ripped away from you. All right, we'll be back in a minute. We got a show to do.
Measured glove, slow to first, and Homer failing for the second time in his major league career. It's tossed to nowhere. Oh, gosh. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win it. What a dream to get into the career of Jay Bruce.
All right, Nick. Another losing edition of Chatterbox Reds. At this point, really, I don't know where we go. I know we can do the traditional stuff, and by all stretch of the imagination, we'll do our best to stay on track here tonight and provide some substance, if there's any left, about what's going on with this ball club. Unfortunately, another game where they did not even have a single run. At least we etched one across there in the ninth. But I guess your thoughts before we jump into the the box score recap.
Yeah, it's just been tough. I mean, the ninth inning was, I guess, a small glimmer of hope. You saw some of the at bats that we've loved from this team. The Jake Fraley leadoff hit, the Spencer Steer grind out, take the ball the other way. But there just hasn't been enough of that. You hope maybe that can be a light at the end of a very, very dark tunnel right now. That's just been a really tough stretch of baseball to watch.
Yeah, and I think the question's ultimately going to become who do you blame? Because I think when things start to go this bad, right, that's ultimately what most people would like to do is blame somebody. And listen, there's plenty of blame to go around, in my opinion. And I think the blame for the most part is going to be laid on the shoulders from myself to the players. I do think Crawl could have helped this club out a little bit in some capacity. I'm glad to see Bubba Thompson get in the game today, but outside of that, he's been basically like trying to find Where's Waldo when you're not as an adult, but he's been trying to find Where's Waldo when you're like 3 years old, when it was actually very hard to find Waldo. But at this point now, it's like they just seem like they're stubborn, and I understand the logic sometimes of being like, okay, we gotta see this thing through, because the last thing we want to do is, if we're going to play the numbers, the last thing we want to do is let the numbers be incredibly terrible and then cut ties and then never get to reap the benefits of those numbers coming back to level, if you want to call it that. But the issue is that this is we at least we got some people in here just doing crazy supers, which we'll get to in a second. But at this point, I don't know how much longer this, and I'm not trying to sound the alarm and say the season's dead on May 4th. Like, these games matter. These games count. And let's face it, you're looking at the division, and right now, at some point, you're going to have to not only climb the ladder of, one or two teams, but it's looking like maybe three teams. And they find a way to win tomorrow. They salvage obviously what we had said before, which is you just can't get swept. You got to find ways to make sure that doesn't happen. But then ultimately they're going to have to find a way to win a series or two in the month of May now. And right now it just looks so bleak. The positive though, Nick, the pitching. I mean, I know nobody wants to hear that right now, but if you want to try to play the glass as half full, the pitching has been unbelievable. I mean, it truly has been unbelievable. This team's probably should have won 4 or 5 games this week, and they've not won hardly anything.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to just the teams that they played. They shut down the Phillies for several games. Texas, defending world champions, they allowed 8 runs over 3 games. Pitched really well for the most part out in San Diego. This is back-to-back games. You hold the Baltimore Orioles to 3 runs and 2 runs. Maybe the best team in baseball, one of the best teams in baseball, certainly one of the best offenses in baseball. They lead Major League Baseball in home runs. So that's, I guess, what makes it maybe a little more frustrating, is just that you've wasted just such an incredible run of starting pitching, and it kind of leads you to, well, the pitching's going to probably swing back a little bit the other way, just kind of like Elly De La Cruz is your perfect example. Ellie's been the only player that's been able to do a damn thing for the last week. And of course, tonight, when you kind of have a rally, he has an 0 for 4 night with 3 strikeouts. So it's just nothing is just syncing up right now. And when that happens during a Major League Baseball season, when you're already dealing with a roster that's missing so many key guys, it's the perfect storm for kind of what we saw this week.
Yeah, I mean, I know we'll do it in the box score recap. John Means, 7 innings, 3 hits, 0 walks, 0 runs, and 8 strikeouts. Like we make all of these guys look so good. And that's the most frustrating part to me about this offense. If they did what they did in the 9th inning just a couple times throughout the game and they wind up scoring 1 or 0 runs, I'm not saying I wouldn't be pissed, but I would at least say, you know what? There's at least some semblance of a light at the end of this tunnel. There's some hope here. But it just seems like there's no threat, hardly ever, in these games. 0 threats. And they finally get a threat. And again, you had mentioned Ellie. Not that Ellie gets a pass, but certainly when Ellie's one of the few guys on this team that seems to be somewhat competent at the plate, you'd like to at least give him a little bit of a leash. You know he's not going to be perfect every night. CES I don't know what to do with CES, Nick. Like how long of a leash does he get?
He has to get a longer leash. Number one, there's not better options. He's only played 2 games back from, missing several games. I mean, look, this team's going nowhere if these core pieces don't step up.
I would agree. I would agree with that. The question I have for you back to this would be like, you can't play, in my opinion, and I'm not going to go sideways tonight. I'm really going to try not to go sideways because I think that sometimes you get tired of listening to people yell and scream all the time. We're all frustrated. Okay, I get it. But you can't plead and be like, you know what? We don't want to put CES on the IL because ultimately he's going to be ready in 5 or 6 days. And we don't want to lose him for those 4 days that he otherwise wouldn't have been available. You can't sit out 5 days and then on the 6th and 7th day, and I'm not saying you specifically, I'm not talking to you, but I'm talking about as a team, to be like, well, you got to get him acclimated again. What do you mean? I mean, if that's the case, then let him go on the 10-day IL, take batting practice, and on the 10th day, he's actually back in rhythm because he's not sat for 5 days previously. And I'm not saying Mike Ford, everyone's going to, Mike Ford might have been 0 for 6 tonight with 6 strikeouts. He might have. But I will also say if he wasn't, if some of these guys were on the IL, Mike Ford, I don't know, may have or may have not made a difference tonight. We'll see. But I know this. Right now, whatever we're trying to do, it's not working. It's not working. Now, maybe, again, there's time here. Maybe the next 4 days, CES, Stevenson, they both get incredibly hot. It all works itself out. But I'm just saying, like, we should start to consider using the injured list for the appropriate reasons and stop playing shorthanded so much. Just a thought.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's one of those things. Like I feel like some of these moves might have made people feel better for a day, but I really am not sure it's going to make a dent in anything. The Reds need their players to be better than they're being right now, and that's what it comes down to. And I mean, they will overall. A lot of these guys are not going to hit this bad all year, but I don't know. Right now, it's hard to get through it.
And listen, I think Michael Rolfe with a big super bomb, wishing you happy birthday as well. We got some super bombs in here, like absolutely crazy super chats. Absolutely crazy super chats. I mean, we got super chats out. I mean, these are the biggest super chats I think we've had ever. Patrick already, thank you very much again. Michael Rolfe says, Mystic Dan, baby. Red legs use my stick.
I don't know what that means, but I appreciate
Michael
it.
Rolfe says, happy birthday, Nick Kirby.
Thanks.
2 $50 super bombs. Patrick Sharp with a $50 super bomb. I tell you what, man. Michael Roth with another super chat. They said this team is 12th youngest in Major League Baseball. Crazy thing is the old guys stink. CES is going to be a star. Weird stretch, fun team. Maybe, Michael. I'm not. Like, here's where I'm not going to be overly pessimistic, right? I don't want to rain on anybody's parade tonight, but like maybe CES will be a stud. Let's be very clear. I know Ellie's going to be very good. I'd like to think that Matt McLean's going to be good, and I'd like to think that Noelve Marte is going to be good. But if you had to say, hey, out of all the guys that you're not sure about, CES would probably be my pick. But having said that, it's so early in his career. I'm not here to drown the guy and say he's dead. He's not dead. But listen, not every bat's the same. Not every at-bat's the same in baseball. There's certain at-bats that require you or ask for you to do certain things differently. You can't go up there and bases loaded with one out and have the same approach as you would if there was nobody out in the bottom of the first inning. You can't do that. Inevitably, he's going to throw that sinker, and you just got to try to make sure you put the thing in the air if it humanly possible. Jeimer Candelario, as much as we want to be upset about that at bat, he got a tough strike one call on him, right? He then made a pretty poor swing on strike two, but it was somewhat in the same similar area of the poor strike on the first pitch. And then he found a way though, right, to put the ball in play. Now, whether or not that would have scored Bubba Thompson from third base, I can't guarantee it, but I know Bubba's one of the fastest guys in Major League Baseball. He probably scores on that fly ball. He probably scores there. Maybe not, but he probably does. And that's the difference. Those are the small things that make a big, big difference, right? So, there's no solution. You can always just say, hey, you got to play harder, play better. Of course, they're all trying their best, but at the same time, we need better at-bats in certain situations. And I'm not letting Ellie off the hook again, but at the same time, man, Ellie's the last guy I'm going to complain about. So, all right, Andrew Abbott, you got anything to add on him? Proud of him?
No, I mean it's just a really good start. ERA's down to 3.32. It's just you couldn't have asked for anything more than what he's given you so far this year. The bullpen, I mean, Nick Martinez back in his more comfortable role, back to being the Nick Martinez, just dominant. 2 no-hit innings. Lucas Sims looked great. Sam Moll, I mean, man, it's tough when you just see this many good pitching performances against a really, really good lineup. These guys all pitched their tails off and, gave the Reds a chance in the ninth inning. I mean, and a really good chance at that. So eventually some of those types of efforts like tonight are going to swing back in the Reds' favor, and they're going to result in some wins and not be wasted efforts. But tonight, unfortunately, just was a big, giant wasted.
It was.
Yeah.
It was just an opportunity, and they missed it. And let's face it. Austin in the chat, I appreciate his comment. He says you can't blame CES for the entire team not hitting all game. CES hit the ball hard today. I understand. I get it. And you know what? I think it's one of those things where when things are going really, really, really poorly, when you have opportunities, they become like overly glaring when you don't capitalize on them. So it's easy to jump on the ninth inning. And that's what most fans are going to do today. But it is a 9-inning game, right? It's like it's you have an opportunity throughout the entire game to find a way to score some runs. And this team's we can all just say it out loud together. One kumbaya around a campfire on a Saturday night, drinking some nice fine Pilsners. I would have liked to taken some Fireball today, but you know what? It just wasn't in the cards. But here's the thing. We can all say it together. This offense isn't good right now. And that's the facts. And until we get some of these guys to start kind of clicking, and we all know who they are. Their names are Christian Encarnacion Strand, Jeimer Candelario. Hopefully TJ Friedl comes back and provides some semblance of a spark. That's, again, hopefully in the, maybe a week or so. But it's a sad time right now. I mean, I really don't know how to say it. I really don't know how to say it. I genuinely I'm at a loss for words. I said my piece last night about the whole situation. Candy comes up in the bottom of the 8th inning, right? And he gets a base hit to right field. I think I posted this, Nick. You have Santiago Espinal coming up after him. You have Luke Maley coming up after him, and then you have Stuart Fairchild coming up after him. That is a 40. I think it's a 44 OPS, a 44 OPS, and a 43 OPS. Back to back to back after a leadoff hit, trying to tie the game. That's what we're dealing with, Nick. So, I don't know if you have anything else that you want to add about this abysmal offense before we kind of move on.
No, not really. Not a whole lot. I mean, look, Jonathan India had a good day. 2 hits, a double, and a walk. I mean, that's a really good day from him. He's been a guy that's kind of dealt with a lot this year with obviously starting the year having to play multiple positions. He was hurt as well or sick, or I don't know. It's hard to keep up with who's sick, who's hurt, who's what. But I know he was out of the lineup for a while, and he jumped right back in, and he's played pretty decent. So shout out to him. We need every little piece that you can right now.
Yeah, and to your point, I feel like nothing's syncing up. Like this team not only is not playing well, but then on top of that, they seem to have they seem to have like a little bit of poor luck in regards to the fact that you mentioned Ellie got hot on the wrong days. We almost need all of these guys to have one good day. Let's all have one good day together, and then if we all want to suck for the next 3 days, that's fine. At least we know we got one win. But now it's like, oh, this guy's gonna get a couple hits. India had a pretty decent day today, and then Spencer Steer obviously had a big hit. Jake Fraley, and then all of a sudden tomorrow, all those guys will go over, and Santiago Espinal get a hit. It's at least they did even up the hit column. It was looking pretty bleak there for a minute. So 2 runs on 7 hits for the Orioles, 1 run on 6 hits for the Reds.
6 hits feels like it was a miracle they got to that number too, doesn't it?
Yeah. 1 hit shy.
Oof. Yeah.
It is wild to think that they were just 1 hit away from winning this baseball game.
Yeah, it completely changes everything about how everyone feels. It is.
You're right.
That's the roller coaster of a 162 game baseball season.
It is.
Like you think back to like that 12-game win streak. Like the Ricky Karcher game. I mean, like that was part of what. Sometimes these things go your way, sometimes they don't, and when they do, you can pull a 12-game win streak out of nowhere. When it doesn't, you can lose, I don't know, was this 4 in a row, just because nothing's going right.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, I think people are going to maybe ask the question if you're relatively new or you're not sure, you're just starting to kind of check out this ball club. Like, what other options are there available? There's just really not many, guys. Like, there's not many. There's no saving Private Ryan situation. There's not a saving grace, whatever term you want to use. I don't know, just not happening. Levon Soto, Mike Ford, Capel. Who else we got down there? It is what it is. Reese Hines. I mean, you could argue Reese Hines might be something better than Bubba, but it is what it is.
Yeah, Jacob Hurtubise played his first game back. He's actually in Arizona. Talk about him in a second. He's a guy that could be a nice piece to call up, but there's the next Ellie De La Cruz, Matt McClain, Spencer Steer. That's in Dayton. I mean, that's a ways away. I mean, they're really good. They're really good down there, but they're at least year and a half.
Cam Collier's 19 years old. The other thing too, we all have to understand is like we're not going to start burning service time of guys just because we think we need some help on a ball club right now that looks inept. Yeah. No one wants to talk about that. No one cares about service time and all those things, but there's some semblance of truth there. So we shall see. Maybe they go out and maybe they surprise us all and they go out into the free agent market and they find somebody that seems relevant enough to be able to help. But my guess is that they're free agents for a reason on May 4th as well. So, all right, Nick. Listen, chat. You guys have been amazing. You guys are having very good conversations in there. I'm doing my best not to I'm just doing my best not to overreact because I thought that I had fun last night. I was trying to be entertaining last night. I was trying to echo the feelings I think that many of us have, but I'm worn out watching this team right now. Like I'm a human too, you know. I have the same, you know, basic feelings that we all have, and this is just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And I think the hardest part about all this is that, and again, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just saying it how I see it. The toughest part is that I just don't think we're very good right now. And ultimately, all I'm trying to say when I say that is that there's not really a solution other than maybe you could convince me that Nick Krall could do something to try to trick the guys in the locker room to thinking that they have some help when maybe they don't. But you know, I don't know. Maybe you spark the clubhouse somehow. Who knows? I don't know. But I do know one thing, Nick. If you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again and expect different results, they call that insanity. I think that's the definition of it. And right now, it just feels like that's where I'm at. This is insanity. Maybe they'll find a way to win tomorrow. Because I will say this. If they win tomorrow, they kind of salvage the series in the semblance that that we're not quite season's over yet. I know that's crazy to say on May 4th. But you lose 5 or 6 in a row, I'm going to be honest with you. That's a hell of a hole to get out of.
Well, the starting pitching is very good. And I mean, it's wild that, you know, just a year ago, it was the starting pitching was the thing that held his team back from a really good offense. So the starting pitching is really, really good. This is a deep starting pitcher. They're going to add Frankie Montas here back soon. So I do think over the course of the season, the starting pitching staff is going to win a lot of games. This offense, even as it currently looks, is not this bad. There's going to be guys play better than this. There's going to be games where even this crew puts up 8 runs. So I think the starting pitching is what's going to keep this Reds team competitive. Now, look, they're staring at a gauntlet right now where they can't let themselves get buried too far. But I do think this pitching staff overall is a lot deeper than a lot of other teams across baseball. And that's going to eventually, I think, be a huge strength when other teams start losing guys, when they're having to dig deeper and deeper like the Reds did last year.
Right.
The Reds, I think, are more prepared for that. So that's probably right now what gives me the most hope is that every single night the starting pitching is going to give you a chance to win. You're not hoping and praying Luke Weaver can go out and give you 4 quality innings. You're expecting every single starter that the Reds put out there can go out and give you a quality start every single night. So that's what's going to keep this team afloat. You just have to hope that the offense can kind of sync it up. TJ Friedl is going to be back soon. That's going to help. Noelvi Marte's suspension ends at some point. That's going to help. So there's some help on the way. How much? There's help on the way. It's what's here has to be better too for that help to really even matter.
I agree with what you're saying 100%. The only thing I would add is that do I think that the help that's coming is going to make a sizable difference is the question that I think we're all trying to ask ourselves right now. I would just say that when you add one player in the lineup, there's a domino effect there, right? Like it can actually significantly help. If TJ Friedl comes up and he has a positive OPS, he starts to play the way in which he played last year, then I also think that there is something to the idea that and again, analytics would probably not agree with this, and this isn't a bash on analytics, but I'm saying like there is something to having some kind of contagious spirit about the lineup, right? If you have a 7, 8, 9 pitch battle like TJ Friedl has from time to time, and you walk, and then the next guy walks up there with a little more brass confidence, like I just think that we need to get some of these guys mentally to feel like they're still dudes. And I don't know, right now it just feels like they're in a pit of misery together. And basically it's like the old saying goes, right? Winning is contagious, but so is losing. It seems like we're on the losing side right now, and we need some guys to come up here that can kind of really give some spark into this clubhouse. Now, will TJ Friedl come up and they go 15 games over 500 the rest of the season? Probably not. But I do think, genuinely speaking, that one guy can help kind of elevate the rest of the lineup a little bit. And it might not be so much that they're hitting for them, obviously, but they can kind of set a tone. I think that genuinely can happen. Now, whether it happens, we'll find out. But I do have high hopes when TJ Friedl comes back. There's a breath of fresh air there. I really do believe that. So, and I'm not trying to sell a snake oil here. I just think that, if we're going to be fans, and we obviously all are fans, you have to provide yourself some semblance of hope. And maybe it's naive hope. Maybe you think it's false hope. I don't care what it is, but you got to have some semblance of it. And I would like to think that if they can survive in advance, they can win a game tomorrow with Nick Lodolo on the mound, one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball. You couple that into the fact that they go into essentially next week thinking you're going to get TJ Friedl back probably on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, somewhere in there. Then maybe he provides something. So if you don't like that, I get it, but I would just say you gotta at some point convince yourself that this is worth watching. And that's my best sales pitch if I can give one.
No, there's definitely something to a lineup that doesn't have holes, and obviously TJ Friedl's not going to fix every hole, but he's going to fix one pretty big hole in the lineup. He's going to give you competitive at bat every time up. He's going to be a guy that anytime can get a bunt single and just get on base. That's what the Reds. They need guys to get on base. No one's getting on base right now. That's the biggest key. And look at this Baltimore Orioles team's a pretty good example of that. Gunnar Henderson's an absolute star, but you look down the rest of their lineup. I mean, they have a lot of good players, but they don't have anyone that has an OPS over 850 in the lineup other than Henderson tonight. So, but every guy's competitive, or most of their guys are competitive, and there's definitely some carryover to that. Reds also need to start hitting some home runs. This is a team that has like India, De La Cruz, Steer, even Stevenson, CES, Candelario, Benson, Fraley. These are all guys that are capable of hitting 20-plus home runs. You need to start hitting some home runs. That also fixes a lot. You start hitting a couple home runs here and there, it completely changes the how each game's going on a night-to-night basis. Just even a solo home run in the third inning, like, how great would that be? Just like tomorrow, you go out in the first inning, you hit a home run. I mean, they're just not hitting a lot of home runs right now. And in this ballpark, you have to hit home runs to be successful, or you're going to have some really bad slumps like this.
Yeah, well, they're not hitting a whole lot of anything. All right, a couple quick supers here before we go, guys. Michael Roth is just ripping them tonight. But Steve C. chimes in and says, baseball needs a salary cap and 40 less baseball games. Steve, that's a good conversation probably for, I don't want to say another show, but that's probably a good conversation. We've had that conversation a little bit during the offseason. Salary cap, you know how I feel about it. I would love for there to be some more competitive balance in some capacity. If anything, if it's not a salary cap, I want to make sure that we have the ability to meet the demands or the financial demands of Elly De La Cruz. And I don't know if that means that small markets get supplemented, X amount of dollars or X percentage of these guys' contracts when they're homegrown talent. Because I really don't want to have the idea that, essentially the Reds can't afford to keep Elly De La Cruz when his time's up, which we have plenty of time. Nobody should feel sorry about themselves right now about that. Ryan K. says, somebody get Bell a helmet. He might get a hit. Not a bad idea. David Bell. David Bell wasn't a very good hitter, but you know what? I mean, maybe he should try it. Michael Rolfe says the starter ERA the last 2 days is fantastic. The Reds are looking themselves in the mirror with the O's. Difference is 3 of the Reds' most crucial players are injured and out with they're either injured or out with PEDs. I'll call it Reds O's World Series in the next 4 years. I hope so. I genuinely hope so. And I will say this 100%. This is not the Reds team we all expected to come in the season with. We know that. That's the not giving up like hope part, if we're being honest, right? If this was Matt McClain, Noelvi Marte, TJ Friedl, Will Benson on a daily basis, and I know he's been pretty tough to watch at times, but you get my point. If this is who we were and we were playing this poorly, you'd kind of start to feel pretty upset. But it's not. It's not, and we all know it's not. So you are right about that. Leave it at the table said, did you enjoy your birthday gift from the Reds, Nick? Trace, what WTF can we do at this point? We need a right-handed power. We do need right-handed power bat. Did you get anything from the Reds, Nick?
I did not get anything from the Reds.
Yeah.
Not this year. Next year.
Maybe next year. Maybe next year. Like Jelly of the Month Club or something. I don't know what we do. I already said it. Leave it at the table. No, I genuinely have no clue. It's tough.
Like you said, the payroll conversation's probably best for another day, but
yeah,
Orioles have a smaller payroll than the Reds. They're both at 101 million. Reds are 101.6. Orioles are 101.1. So,
yeah,
I don't know. That doesn't really do much for me tonight. But
it is what it is. We got guys that are hurt, and we got guys that filled in for those guys that were hurt that aren't playing all that well. And if we're allowed to be critical, or if we're allowed to look ourselves in the mirror, we got guys that we knew we were going to have to rely on, and they're not playing well either. So wham, wham, wham. Thank you, ma'am. We got super chats galore. Tyler Farrell retracted his message for a super chat, so you can punch it in there if you'd like to see it or want us to read it. But this is it. That's all I got, Nick. These are the shows that, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? I know people, I don't want people to think that I was dodging these. I'll do one just so people don't think I'm a hypocrite, but I really wanted to do them for a win. That was the whole idea. But I'll do one just because it might make me feel a little bit better. See if Tyler said anything here, but you got anything left to add, Nick, before we leave it?
I punched in all the Reds MILB so we can run through that.
Let's do that. Let's do a little Reds MILB.
Do we want to shout out our sponsors before we do that?
Yeah, I think so. I tell you what we should do. We should tell everybody that if you're thinking about going down to the Great American Ballpark tomorrow, I know that you're probably not wanting to do that, but if you do think about doing that, I just want you to know that there's an Alexis Diaz bobblehead, and he is in his City Connect uniform, which is pretty cool. Supplies last, so you can get down to Great American Ballpark. And if you're going to do that, you can just jump on the Game Time app. You can use the code CINCY, CINCY, and you get $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. And you can get your tickets. I've seen some big wigs of ours. What's funny is all of the people that obviously work at Chatterbox, I've not been to the club before, but Elliot's been to the club now. I've never been in the Diamondback seats. Ellie's been in the Diamondback seats twice now, and I'm starting to wonder if he just uses the Game Time app every time. He's just ripping the codes. So maybe he is. And if you're going to use the code, you can use it as well, CINCY, and you can get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download the Game Time app. And as always, DSC, I know they don't really want to probably be a part of shows that are really, really tough, but shout out to Deep South Commodities, John and his team. You can go to deepsouthcommodities.com and check them out if you have any information or any interest in what they do. So, and then the last thing, of course, as always, I know nights like tonight are very evident. I just want to say something. We have a loyal person in this chat all the time, Ricky Logan. Ricky, I seen you made a post on socials, man. Listen, I will say this about everyone has tough times, man. I'm being serious when I say this. Everybody has tough days. Sometimes people try to portray themselves, on socials all the time, acting like they never have any issues and all their life's grand and blah, 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 blah. I've lived a really good life, a great life. And there's tough days for everybody, man. So if you're going through some tough times, always use the resources available to you. Man Therapy, shout out them out, mantherapy.org. You can go to Man Therapy and there's some tips, some things that you can do to help yourself if you feel like you're going through a tough time. So don't feel ashamed to do that. All right, a couple more supers here real quick before we do the Reds MILB. Guys, do me a favor. I love you guys so much. I'm going to need you to help me out. I'm going to need you to save these supers for tomorrow. All right? I need you to save these supers for tomorrow. Daniel Meyer says, pay Ellie $5. Start a crowd fund. Tyler Farrell says, what's your guys' honest opinion on with everyone so cold right now? Do you think they could catch fire like last year? What are the odds they can recreate the fire again? Tyler Farrell with a $10 super chat. I'll answer that relatively quickly. That's his 5th super chat, so thank you, Tyler. But I would say I think that they can catch fire. The question ultimately becomes in my opinion, Are they able to just make sure that they're not so far down in this damn ditch or hole that they seem to be on their way to burying themselves right now, that when they do get hot, it's actually for something, and it's not to go from, 12 games below 500 to 4 games below 500. That's where I'm at, Nick. I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think every player is probably different in why they're struggling. Just kind of going down the list, like Will Benson, I think he played too much against left-handed pitching. I think that might have also jumped into his confidence. I think he's a guy that his confidence and how he's feeling is very, very indicative of how he's able to perform. So I think with Will, it's probably more the mental side. Although if you really look at Will's splits, he actually hasn't been that bad against right-handed pitching. It's just the left-handed pitching has really dragged his numbers down. I think Candelario, I think he was in his head early in the year trying to do too much. I think he's maybe getting out of it. I think that Tyler Stevenson, the one guy that's just been very unlucky. I think he's of all the guys should have better numbers. I think StatCast would indicate that. CES just swinging at crappy pitches. He just his plate discipline is lacking. We knew that going in, but he's got to be a little better at that. And I don't know. You go down the list further. Jonathan India, I don't think he's been that bad. I think he's close to where he needs to be. But it's everyone's kind of had their own little issue that's kind of all stacked up, and then the larger issue, and we've beat this horse to death, is just there's just too many guys out of their spot. That's the biggest problem. If TJ Friedl's in his spot, Stuart Fairchild doesn't feel as bad as he's been. Right. If Noelvi Marte is in his spot, a guy like Santiago Espinal doesn't feel as bad as he's been because he's being used more sparingly in the role that he was designed to be on this team for. And the list goes on and on with that. So that is the larger point of why I think that the offense overall has struggled.
I completely agree. All right, one more super here from Michael. He said, I can't wait for another ATOBTTR. That stands for, and this one belongs to the Reds. I believe in this team, and I believe in Chatterbox Reds. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Michael. You've super chatted more money than I used to earn in like a full month at Starbucks. I really do appreciate that tonight. Very nice of you. We'll get to a ball game soon as well. All right, folks. Tomorrow, as a reminder, we will be back better than ever at 9 p. But before we do that, we're going to do some Reds MILB.
All right, Louisville, they lost 9-6 to St. Paul. Bats fall to 15-17 on the year. Tough outing for Christian Rowe. He only got one batter out in this one, but I actually kind of went back through and watched a little bit of this. So he threw 37 pitches, 21 of them were strikes. He had the ABS system overrule 2 strike 3 calls, and they were overturned on a 3-2 count, so that made them balls. There was also an error in the inning, so tough line. I don't think he was necessarily that terrible. TJ Friedl was 1 for 5. Continues to give pretty competitive at-bats. I think he's probably back on Tuesday. That's my guess. Good day for Blake Dunn. He was 2 for 5 with a double. Michael Trotwine hit his 3rd home run of the year. Reese Hines got the day off. Double-A, the Chattanooga Lookouts, they were swept in 2 games. The first one was a suspended game. They ended up losing 4-0. The second game, they lost 5-4. They're now 7-18 on the season. Austin Hendrick only played in that first game, was 0 for 4. Tyler Callahan, he was on base a total of 4 times, 3 of them walks, so that was good to see from him. Matt Nelson hit his first home run of the year. And then Alan Serta was on base a total of 4 times between the 2 games. One good note in the bullpen, Andrew Moore, this was a reliever the Reds got back for Luis Castillo. Really struggled early in the year. Last year, dealt with a lot of injuries, but he has not allowed a run over his last 5 appearances. That's now 8 1/3, 11 strikeouts, 6 walks after he threw 2 scoreless today. The Dayton Dragons, I didn't get them in there. I didn't get the Dragons in there, but the Dragons, they won 2-1 over West Michigan. Jay Allen is 1 for 4. Cam Collier walked and solo base. Victor Acosta 1 for 3 with a triple. The Daytona Tortugas, they won 7-5 over Palm Beach. They improved to 16-10. Reds MLB best on the year. Alfredo Duno 1 for 4. Ricardo Cabrera, really nice day, 2 for 5 with a double. And Ariel Almonte, batting average doesn't look like much, but this guy has 9 home runs in a league where it's almost impossible to hit home runs. And we have one more. The Arizona Complex League started today. The ACL Reds lost 10-8, but Jacob Hurtubise back after being out for quite a while with an injury. Good to see him play. He was hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance and then ended up stealing a base. Sammy Stafura, Reds, I think it was second round pick last year, made his debut, 1 for 4. Shang-In Lin on base twice. And then Cole Schoenwetter, this was the Reds' 4th pick from last season. He threw 3 innings, gave up 2 runs, but did strike out 6 batters.
All right, folks. I know we rallied the troops yesterday, but you guys got 129 likes in here already. That's an incredible job by you guys. I'm really what a loyal fan base we have. What a loyal fan base I guess the Reds have. And I just want to say thank you. I mean, I genuinely mean that again. It was a tough time to be a Reds fan, and we'll get through it together. I don't think we're going to be this bad forever. I really don't. I don't think we'll be this bad forever. So we got a who, what, when, where, and why. Nick, when's the next chance we have to finally win a game?
Tomorrow's a 4:10 game. I think the Pig is tomorrow in Cincinnati. Is that
the
what's
Flying
going on down there?
Pig?
So a 4:10 start. When you're playing bad, it's good to see Nick Lodolo on the mound. Last start was obviously brilliant against the Padres. 7 innings, 1 hit, 11 strikeouts. He did face the Orioles once, dominated them back in 2022. Active Orioles against Lodolo, 3 for 15. Rutschman's 0 for 3. Santander is 2 for 3. For the O's, it'll be Dean Kramer. He's in his 5th major league season, career 4.34 ERA. He has allowed a AL most 8 home runs. So hopefully the long ball can maybe finally come back in the Reds' favor. He's only made 1 start against the Reds. Came back in 2022 at Great American Ballpark. Gave up 10 hits, 6 earned runs, and 2 home runs. Active Reds, they're 10 for 16 against this guy. Santiago Espinal, he's 5 for 7 with 2 walks. He's been on base 7 of the 9 times he's faced Dean. India's 2 for 3 with a homer. Fraley's 2 for 2. Candelario is 1 for 2. So hopefully, please let some of those numbers be true tomorrow.
Kramer. I'll watch some Seinfeld tonight, maybe. Maybe I'll do that just to get myself ready for tomorrow. I don't know, man. This is all for all of you. I don't want anybody to say I didn't live up to what I said I was going to do. But you know what? We still got a beautiful. I think it's relatively nice outside. I think relatively nice outside. The sun's still shining. We're still alive. We'll be back tomorrow, God willing. And when we do, hopefully we find a way to watch better baseball. And if we don't, we'll be back here again talking about it. That's what we do after every single game. So, from my family to yours, God bless America, and God bless the Reds, and God bless just maybe 2 runs tomorrow. That's all I'm asking, at least 2 runs. Go Reds. Golly. Bricks. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.